Beneath America's cities lies a hidden highway that moves millions of gallons of fuel every single day. Monitor the flow rate closely at the bypass junction. We need to ensure the transfer is seamless and secure. While millions of people drive above them every day, few realize that an invisible river of fuel is flowing directly beneath their wheels. Some fuel pipelines stretch for more than 1,000 miles, crossing mountains, rivers, and entire states without ever coming into view. But how can liquid fuel travel thousands of miles through a single pipeline? The answer begins with enormous pumping stations built to keep fuel moving day and night.
Every journey begins at the refinery, where finished gasoline is carefully transferred into the nation's pipeline network. Powerful pumps generate the pressure needed to move millions of gallons of fuel through pipelines that stretch across entire states. Unlike water flowing downhill, fuel pipelines rely on carefully controlled pressure to keep gasoline moving continuously. A single major pipeline can transport far more fuel than fleets of tanker trucks, making it one of the most efficient transportation systems ever built. But here's the surprising part. Different fuels often travel through the very same pipeline. So how do they avoid mixing together? Instead of using separate pipelines, different fuels are usually transported in carefully timed batches through the same line. Only a tiny transition zone forms where two fuel products meet, and pipeline operators monitor it very carefully. Advanced computer systems know the precise location of every fuel batch, even hundreds of miles away. When each fuel batch reaches its destination, automated valves direct it into the correct storage tanks with remarkable precision. But transporting fuel is only part of the story. Hidden inside these pipelines is a remarkable machine that constantly checks their health. This remarkable machine is called a smart pig, and it travels inside active pipelines while fuel continue flowing around it. As it moves, hundreds of advanced sensors inspect every inch of the pipeline, searching for damage invisible to the human eye. It can detect corrosion, tiny cracks, dents, and even metal loss long before they become dangerous.
The inspection data is transmitted to engineers, allowing them to repair problems before leaks ever occur.
After traveling hundreds of miles underground, the smart pig returns with one of the most detailed health reports any pipeline can receive. Even the smallest leak can become a serious problem. That's why modern fuel pipelines are constantly monitored every second. Thousands of electronic sensors continuously measure pressure and flow, allowing operators to spot abnormalities almost instantly.
The moment something unusual happens, advanced monitoring systems identify the exact location within seconds.
Automatic shutoff valves can quickly isolate damaged sections, limiting the amount of fuel that can escape. Highly trained emergency teams respond quickly, using advanced technology to inspect, repair, and safely restore pipeline operations. Fuel pipelines aren't just buried underground. They're protected by multiple engineered layers designed to withstand decades of harsh conditions. The first line of defense is a specialized protective coating that prevents moisture and corrosive materials from reaching the steel. But coatings alone aren't enough. Engineers also use cathodic protection, a clever electrical system that dramatically slows corrosion. Regular inspections verify that every section of the pipeline remains protected, even in the harshest environments. Thanks to continuous protection and maintenance, many fuel pipelines remain in service for decades while the world above them continues to change. Building a fuel pipeline begins long before the first section of steel ever reaches the ground. Each massive pipe section is carefully aligned, welded together, and inspected to ensure decades of safe operation. Every critical weld is tested using advanced inspection techniques before the pipeline is approved for service. When pipelines must cross rivers or highways, engineers often drill deep underground instead of digging across the surface. Once construction is complete, the pipeline is buried, protected, and the landscape is carefully restored, often leaving almost no visible evidence behind.
Thousands of miles away from the pipelines themselves, dedicated control centers monitor the entire network 24 hours a day.
Using advanced SCADA systems, operators can see pressure, flow, temperature, and equipment status across thousands of miles in real time. Information from sensors, pump stations, and valves is transmitted continuously, giving operators a live picture of the entire network. With just a few commands, operators can remotely control pumps and emergency valves located hundreds of miles away. Today, artificial intelligence helps predict potential problems before they become real emergencies, making pipelines safer than ever before.
Pipelines aren't the only way fuel moves across America. Trucks, trains, and ships each play an important role.
A single major pipeline can move as much fuel as hundreds of tanker trucks operating at the same time. So why use trucks at all? Because pipelines can't reach every gas station, especially those in smaller towns and remote communities. Railroads and ships provide critical links where pipelines aren't available, or when fuel must travel across oceans. Together, these transportation systems form one of the world's largest and most efficient energy supply networks. What happens if the electricity suddenly disappears? Does America's fuel pipeline simply stop? Critical pumping stations are equipped with emergency backup systems designed to keep essential operations running. If power cannot be safely restored, automated safety systems slow or stop fuel movement to protect the entire network. Even during emergencies, operators coordinate across multiple states to maintain safety and restore normal operations as quickly as possible. Within a short time, fuel begins flowing once again, quietly continuing the journey that millions of people depend on every single day. Some fuel pipelines stretch across multiple states, quietly delivering the energy that millions of people rely on every day. Powered by a network of pumping stations, fuel continues moving across vast distances without stopping. Along the route, fuel enters major distribution terminals before continuing its journey to nearby communities. From family road trips to commercial aviation and emergency services, countless parts of daily life depend on this hidden network. Most people never see it, yet this invisible network helps keep an entire nation moving. Long before construction begins, engineers spend years designing the safest and most practical route. Environmental studies help engineers understand how to minimize impacts on ecosystems, rivers, and wildlife.
Large infrastructure projects require coordination with landowners, local communities, and government agencies.
From planning to completion, building a major fuel pipeline can take many years of engineering, review, and construction. When the work is finally complete, the pipeline quietly begins doing what it was built to do, keeping energy moving every day. After traveling hundreds of miles underground, the fuel finally arrives at large distribution terminals. Here, millions of gallons of fuel are safely stored before being prepared for local delivery. Before leaving the terminal, gasoline often receives carefully measured additives that improve engine performance and meet regional fuel standards. From these terminals, tanker trucks complete the final stage of the journey, delivering fuel directly to local gas stations. The journey ends beneath your local gas station, where the fuel waits underground until the next driver pulls up to the pump. Every day, an invisible journey begins beneath America's surface, moving the fuel that keeps the nation alive. From refineries to pumping stations, through pipelines and terminals, every step is carefully engineered.
Without this hidden network, transportation, industry, and everyday life would quickly slow to a halt. Every gallon reaching your car has already completed an incredible journey hidden beneath your feet. The next time you stop for gasoline, remember the extraordinary engineering that brought it there.
What seems like a simple trip to the gas station depends on one of the most complex engineering systems ever built. Hidden beneath our feet is a silent network that keeps millions of lives moving every single day. But this is only one chapter of a much bigger story. In our next documentary, we'll follow every step of that incredible journey from refinery to your fuel tank. Because every gallon of fuel has a story, and we've only just begun to uncover it.